Welcome to the Blackhouse on 106.1 FM. I'm still, I was like, shit. It's not 106.5, is it? Yeah, it's 106.1. It's the Blackhouse with Eddie and Nani and Summer and Leah. For our final Blackhouse episode of the year. We're back. Like it's like a OG's turn out. So
Welcome back, Eddie.
Right now.
Yeah, this is like a well-oiled machine. Like,
I know, right? Well, I mean, like we it's nice to be back, is what it is. We took a hiatus, like did it for 2 years, and then burnt out, and then like
went and had a nap.
Yeah.
Had some dinner.
Had some dinner, right? Like take a shower.
Go to the gym.
Go to the gym. I
got this gym membership. I paid for it, and then I got sick. So then the first week I got sick, so I couldn't go. And then the second week I got sick and couldn't go. Then I finally went once, and then I don't know, just work and life, everything happened. So I just like, I'll go to the gym after work today, and then just didn't. And then just didn't. And then I went, and then I got sick again. And then I finally then I had my wisdom teeth out last Friday.
Oh my god!
So like I'm just like cascading through and then I finally got this morning. I'm just like, nah, you need to take your ass down to the gym.
Yeah.
Like, and because it's before Christmas, like I'm gonna eat like my weight in mince pies.
Yeah. Oh fuck, man! My daughter's grandpa. He makes the sickest mean pies I've ever had in my life. And like I may have separated with your son, but I have not separated with your mince pies. And they invite me around for Christmas dinner, and there's a part of me who's like, I get this many carbs a year, and I will save them all for this day.
That's particularly like it's one of the ones and that's one of the things I'm stockpiling because I need to ensure because I've had my wisdom teeth out.
Yeah. I
would have started eating mince pies 2 weeks ago or a week ago, but I've not been eating solid food.
Yeah.
So it's one of them ones where now I'm like, okay, cool, I need to get a whole bunch of Christmas puddings, fruit, the fruit mints. I need to have that so that for the next 2 months I can just slowly burn my way through this Christmas food.
I love this kind of tactical planning of the Christmas versus the digestive system. Yeah, no, I it's nice to hear that while miles apart we're doing the same, because I actually quit my gym, put my subscription on hold. I bought myself some barbells.
Nice.
And I set myself up a home gym, and I have been more consistent on my workout routine since having done that, and I have saved money. And also managed to make it just more accessible for myself. So for the first time in a long time, I'm not going up, but I'm leveling and going down.
Yeah.
So that's really good. Are you going to be doing Christmas with your family?
Yes, I'm going to so on Monday I'm going down to Cromwell until the 23rd. Yeah. So I spend time with my mum and my fam side of things. We're going to be, and then come back up on the 23rd, spend one night, and then on Christmas Eve go up to Wanganui and spend Christmas with my girlfriend's family.
Oh, yay!
It's funny, it's now sort of thing, we do alternating Christmases sort of thing, which has been cool, and I'm looking forward to that.
Lovey-dovey Christmas up in Wanganui.
And it's great because when I go down, it's, I'm catching up with some mates from down south, again, I'm gonna eat food, tactically, I've sent all my Christmas lists to my brother and and my sister and be okay, here's the things I want.
Yeah. No, it's the same all around then. I mean, I'm glad to hear that you get really tactical about Christmas because you gotta do the commercialism right, the overeating right. Because if you do it wrong, you spend too much on presents that nobody wants. You eat your weight in things that you're sure you didn't need to eat, and then you get to Boxing Day and you probably still have 3 or 4 more parties, and then it's New Year's and you're full of regret.
And it's one of the ones I'm not a Christmas person. I feel I need the structure and I need this sort of stuff around Christmas to kind of make me enjoy it. Because, it's just usually, it's a tough time of the year. And it's one of those ones where, it's tough sometimes, when everything's trying to make you, everyone's really happy and it's so, you should feel happy and family and all that sort of thing. And I'm just
Especially when not everyone has that familial happiness feeling around it.
And it's one of the ones where I sit there and go I like having that structure and I like having those kind of routines, and it's about it's about building those little micro traditions.
Yes.
Sort of thing, right?
Yes. No, not just that. I mean, I'm literally just reading books on micro traditions and their effect on mental health, and I'm putting in place and assessing my own little micro traditions and finding they're extremely grounding.
Yeah.
like the stuff that you used to do as a kid, especially. Like, and the closer you can get to like an authentic micro tradition for yourself, and especially as a family, that bonding, it's intense for bonding.
One of like the big ones for me, like, and it's funny because it's like I'm not a religious person at all, but like Christmas is the one time of the year I go to church. Like, oh, and we have our special guests coming in. And we have a very special guest coming today to talk about her new EP, and we've got some questions to bring up around that. We have Estere. It's like, welcome, one sec, and all the mics are on.
Hello. I wanted to say, first of all, welcome. Thank you for coming back. I was looking in our records, and the last time we had you here was on the 30th of January 2021, and it was me and Modi and TJ that was interviewing you.
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember that.
And that was...
Is TJ your son?
Yes.
Yeah. TJ also gave me like some sample packs.
Yeah. No way.
Yeah, which was really dope.
Oh, awesome.
Which I really
also didn't know that I knew you.
Oh,
so
right.
Esthere's coming and she's a big celebrity. I'm like, I've known her since she was like 11.
Yeah.
So, so awesome that I got a message from your management and they said you'd like to come back again, and I was like, oh yes! So,
sorry I'm late, it was because my cats escaped.
The
indoor cats, and they, like, I couldn't find them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why.
No, thank you. Yeah, thanks for coming in.
Yeah.
So I really want to start off, because we're going to start off with you, because how long do you actually have with us today?
I was told it was like a 20 minute interview.
Okay,
yeah.
So we'll start off with you and get straight into Makara Peak. I've been blasting that on my car stereo. That is driving music.
Yeah.
It seems so different from Archetypes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
And I guess the first question that I've got for you is, you did this during lockdown.
Yes.
And you came up with such a funky EP set. It's like everybody's at home. Isolated. How did that happen?
I think it was like a antidote to the isolation for me, because I was feeling frustrated and stagnant with not being able to leave home, Wellington, New Zealand, as I'm sure a lot of us had similar experiences, and so I kind of wanted to make something that enabled me to imagine being together with people, dancing, being in communities, having fun, and just expressing joy with other people. And so while I was making archetypes by myself, it was very solitary. I was like looking at Makara Peak, that's why I called it Makara Peak, which is the mountain outside of my window. I was imagining that. And I think that's why it ended up being so dancey.
Yeah. I love the track, Oh Well.
Thank you.
That for me is like, that's my vibe. Like that just got that 2000s kind of R&B sort of feel to it.
It's very throwback.
But, really throwback. But the one that I really sort of paid attention to was Conversations with My Daddy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's a really easy listen. It's only 4 tracks, so but they're just so Estere. I mean, I think like you're a whole vibe in yourself when it comes to your, like there's people have their own thing, and you have definitely got your own thing. And this I'm curious to know, what did your dad think of that?
He loves it.
Yeah.
He loves his own voice. He was stoked.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was quite funny because, his first language isn't English, so it's an interesting song because he's speaking French in it, and I'm speaking English and answering to him in English. And I actually haven't engaged with him about what he thinks about the lyrics, and I don't know if he's like completely understood the lyrics.
Right.
But he loves it.
Yeah.
So, and it's an interesting song because like it's a song in French. He's talking about materialism and the Western world's like relationship with material wealth, and I'm talking about what he's talking about, which is money and my relationship with money, and feeling like I need money, but I also hate wanting money.
Yeah.
Like that weird kind of relationship that we, you know, we're kind of forced to have with money. All of us, we're forced into it. But it's also an exploration of my relationship with him on like a deeper level. You know, it's like, because I talk about growing up and like, the lyric is like, grew up in the city with not much in the bank. Mama got the benefit while Papa lived in France.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, it's talking about my relationship with him as well as, you know, materialistic wealth and stuff. And so it was quite a cathartic song to write because it has him on it. And it's, you know, exploring like our relationship in a way that
I've managed to meet your mom, and she's wonderful and lovely.
Yeah.
But I actually, now that you mention it, I have never met your father, and I don't know much about him. So it's kind of interesting to hear. Like, is that a relationship that has developed more recently, or is it something that was there for you and then like became quieter?
So
if that's not too personal.
No, it's not. I don't mind at all. I didn't grow up with my dad.
Yeah.
Like obviously he was in France with 2 of my siblings, and I grew up with my mum, and the thing with me and my dad was a lot of our relationship changed once I learnt to speak French fluently.
Oh, there we go.
I couldn't speak to him growing up, like he had English like that was very broken, and like he had this kind of thing where he yells in English. So he'd call me and he'd be like yelling, and I'd be like, and I wouldn't really understand what he was saying to like, so it really changed once I learned French. So I have like a good relationship with him now. He's, you know, like he's got a good sense of humor. Like we laugh together, and we definitely argue a lot as well. But yeah, I mean, it's important for me to have a relationship with my dad because he is half of me, and also what makes me black. So, you know, like, it's actually a really important journey for me. Yeah.
That's kind of cool. Like, sorry, I have like 3 avenues of questions now. It's so funny. So, like, you're friends with my little sister, and I've known you since you were a baby. But, like, because it's like a relationship removed, like, we have circled like this. And then you went off and became a superstar. And then, like, now I'm actually asking you questions as an individual. And I have, like, so many. So I already know that you also know German. And I don't know how many other languages you know. But I know you learned German in, 3 months or something insane?
How did you do that? I was immersed. I was forced into it.
Okay. I mean, was that before or after you met your partner of the time?
That was during.
Right.
Yeah, my partner of the time was in Germany while I was living there.
Yeah, I learned to speak Dutch for the same reason. Like, I was dating a guy from whose family was from Holland, and I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna learn a language, and I'm gonna surprise you one day where I'm just like sitting on your lap, and I'm like, oh, hoi. I'm like, what? Das ist meine Mann, ja. Aw. Yeah. So may I say you were the inspiration for that?
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I know you learned to speak German extremely quickly, and now you learn to speak French. Vous parlez français.
Oui.
Oui. Yes. And so, like...
Toi, tu parles français aussi?
Un petit peu. Just a little. I picked up Babel, and then I just did that thing of like binge learning a bunch of languages every time I was stressed instead of doing something self-destructive. So that worked very well.
Yeah, I think that's pretty good.
You can't ruin your life if you're too busy trying to like study for a French test. Like you just can't do it.
Yeah. When you were learning French, was that when you were younger or was this quite recently?
Yeah, that was my question.
So I did French lessons like growing up. At like Alliance Française, but it just always went over my head.
Yeah.
Like I never digested the language. It was only once I started going to France and being fully immersed that.
How long did you spend in France?
How long did I spend in France? I've been going to France since I was a teenager, pretty much every year.
Yeah.
So every time I go to France, I'd pick up a little bit more. First time I didn't really know much. Second time I learned more. And it's still a developing thing. Like my French is still developing because I learn more every time I go.
I had a friend who basically said fluency is being able to speak like a child. That is fluency, and it's all right if you're not at, like, reading Dumas's original works. Like, that's actually a high level even for people in French.
Yeah.
Like, so it's okay to be at, like, the child speaking level. That is fluency.
Yeah. I was gonna say, like, in terms of that, like, that kind of, as you've kind of grown as an artist side of things, but is that kind of going to France, kind of annually side of thing, has that been something that's kind of helped you build kind of musical connections kind of on both spaces? Because I think I read something that you had. Your first album was released to like a Paris-based label?
Yeah, it's interesting how France has been recurring in my career, and not even necessarily because of that connection of my dad living in France and my family living in France. It's just, it's ended up being that I've toured there quite a lot. I've played a lot of festivals there. I was signed to a record label based in France with my earlier work. And so France is very interesting when it comes to arts and culture. There's huge support there, and there's a real recognition and appreciation of the arts in France. It's like the arts and revolution.
Also, isn't France is the centre of a lot of the Congolese musicians and music that speak French? And
there's a lot of African. There's a lot of African diaspora musicians in France, and that's my favourite thing about France. I have a lot of qualms with the country because it's actually a really difficult place to live. I lived in Paris for half a year, and the bureaucracy there is really tricky. It's really hard to do anything, to rent a house, to open a bank account.
You know, you need the bank account to open the house, but you need the house to get the bank account. It's just
but and also just the kind of, you know, like the view, the glamorized portrayal that we're given of France is like stripy clothes and high fashion and like really skinny woman, like white woman smoking cigarettes with little poodles, you know, and that's not the France that I know and love. The France that I know and love is the African France, where like people are wearing like amazing, like colourful patterns, and like, you know, there's like Nigerian like fufu stands on like the street, and you know, that's the France that I personally think is special and amazing, but it's not really very always celebrated in terms of like how it's portrayed.
Except in soccer.
Even in soccer, they were like, I remember like, in that World Cup, I remember all my African mates specifically were like, yo, France, we got to back France because it's the first African team to make it through, and it's that sort of thing, and it's that thing of then I remember that was like a real big sticking point for a lot of white French people. Was like, no, they're French. They're not African, they're French. And it was like,
well, I mean,
multiple identity.
One of the things that I was finding myself thinking is I don't really want to be in New Zealand for all of eternity. In terms of the black diaspora here, it's exactly that. I want to be able to give my daughter more. What you'll know coming from both France and like Germany in time of spending time there is a huge Afro population in both France and Germany. And more than that, when I literally was just crunching numbers to figure out where I wanted to live, the highest lifespan and like education, like highest population of people with the longest lifespan and highest education comes from France and Germany in terms of being black. So our communities in those places are extremely strong. So as you say, there's support there for us in a way that is not even in America. Like, it's not there in America. It's not necessarily there in, you know, say the Congo or Nigeria. But in France and Germany, that representation is there. And I'm not surprised that you managed to thrive a lot in France as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's amazing. Like, I mean, I'd never heard of that.
Yeah.
And that's really like, I just had a moment, I was like, whoa, what?
It's exactly that thing where it's not popularized. Like, it's exactly as you say. You go there, and if you come from a European standpoint, it would just be kind of some background noise. But from an African standpoint, you're like, what the fuck? Like, what do you mean we have, like, deep roots here? Like, that makes no sense. And then you kind of get to talk to the people there, and they're like, oh, well, actually, and they'll explain to you what the reality of that is.
I was actually going to ask about the music video for that and BPM, because in terms of what was it about those tracks that you kind of thought needed to kind of move into that music video sort of space? And also, I did think it was really funny because I know someone in the OL music video. He's like Vivian.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Because he's technically I'm part of the ethnic communities grad program.
Oh,
so he
cool.
was like one of the people who interviewed me for that role.
I love that.
So I saw that and was like, is that Viv? Like,
Yes. Yeah, so those two songs, it's always really hard for me to it was really hard for me to choose which songs to make videos for. I just kind of applied for funding from New Zealand On Air for those two songs and got it. I wanted to make a video because I really liked the beat and that throwback kind of like early 2000s West Coast, like R&B hip hop vibe. I was like, it would be good visually. And BPM, quite upbeat and dancey. So I wanted to make a video for that where you saw people moving. Yeah. And so I worked with, for BPM I worked with, do you know Shakir Wasasala, Half Queen, the DJ?
Yes.
Yeah. So she directed that and we used Ezra Simmons on the DOP and we filmed it all on film. We were at the Civic for 12 hours and we were filming on 20 minutes worth of film.
wow.
So we only had 20 minutes of footage to edit from.
Right.
Wow, 12 hours.
Yeah, we were filming for 12 hours, but like we only had 20 minutes of footage from 12 hours.
That's crazy.
Insane.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's
that
pretty
was interesting.
intense. It's pretty intense. The whole just even doing this. Like that interview that we did with Keen Roti took me nearly 10 hours to edit it down. It was madness. Yeah. But I know that you've been staying in LA. How are you gonna be commuting between New Zealand and LA quite a bit? Because it sounds like you really get into the vibe over there.
I do. I love LA.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was surprised because I went there the first time in August, and I heard lots of things about it that were great. So I went there with low expectations, to be honest, and I totally just actually loved it. Like I loved the communities there. I loved I saw so much Black joy in LA, and it was very awesome, and also so it was so naturalized there. Like it was just because there's much more of a population of Black people there. I just every night of the week you could go out to some awesome event, awesome DJ, meet lots of people. People are friendly there. I don't know, I loved it. So I am I'm kind of weighing up my options at the moment.
Right.
Yeah, because also I would like to, I don't know, experience another place as well.
It's the Bay Area, as you know, my dad's around that area, and the thing about it is that you get more armpit hair, leg hair, hippie ass Black people on that side. And if you're in other places where it's more conservative Christian Black folk, or you're just sort of not a part of that diaspora, nothing makes you feel more at home as a sort of more earthy, natural. You get more punk, more earthy, more soul, and just more diversity within our personalities as a whole. And I haven't spent as much time as I would like to there, but it's nice to see that we're on a similar journey of trying to find where to put that taproot, especially coming from New Zealand.
I wonder how much of I don't know, because I've flown through LA, and I wonder how much of LA is coloured by how bad the airport is. How bad that experience I remember flying through, and I was I don't want to go to LA no more.
Oh yeah, no, it can be so off-putting. It's scary. But I will tell you, so the first time I went I was terrified, and then the second time, because I went back 2 months later, I was even more terrified because I was they're going to ask me why I'm coming back, they're going to be why were you just here 2 months ago, what are you doing? And I arrived there and I literally stepped off the plane and someone rolled up with one of those buggies and was like, hey, you want to lift to customs?
Yo!
And I was like, okay. And then I got to customs and the guy looked at my passport and he's like, welcome back.
Oh.
So I was
so nice.
I felt like it was the universe telling me that I was actually welcome, in LA, and so, I've had bad experiences there, but I've also had good experiences at the airport. Weed and marijuana is legal in California.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So you can literally, if you're airport stressed,
Yep.
We rock up, just take a little gummy.
Have you seen those like little trucks, the little marijuana they have them in New York, the little vending trucks with like marijuana. They've just got like little marijuana leaves on the side, and you're just like, wow, okay, this is different.
Yeah. Really change your
You
experience.
can get gummies at the airport?
Yes.
Yeah.
And like the little cute vending trucks and everything, like they're adorable.
Oh.
Leah's about to book a ticket.
Alright.
I'm out. Peace.
So the Blackhouse will be recording from. I'm just thinking. We've talked a little bit about OL and BPM. I want to play those tunes now because I feel like they're like dancey, and I feel like then that might bring us to the end of your 20 minutes. I feel like we don't want you to go, but like.
There's one more question.
One more question from Leah.
It's chill. Like I don't need to rush off.
Well, there is one question I'd like to ask you, and I don't know if I asked it in the last one because I didn't get a chance to watch it all the way through, but I need to know, what was it like opening for Grace Jones?
Oh wow! Yeah.
Opening for Grace Jones was amazing. I think firstly sharing a stage with her, but also secondly just experiencing her as a performer, and then meeting her as well because I met her afterwards. And
what is she like in person? Because I know what she's like on TV.
She's really small, tiny.
Oh wow!
She looks like she's really tall, but actually she's like a very, very petite woman. Like maybe, I don't know, she was like maybe up to here on me.
Wow.
And very, 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 very slender. You know, like almost like delicate.
Ethereal. Like.
Yeah, just really, and I feel like on when in photographs and on film.
She looks like she's 6 foot something.
Yeah. So that was one thing that struck me. She was also very, very sweet and very, very kind. I met her at like 2:00 in the morning after she'd had all her body paint removed, and she was like offering me the flowers in her vase, like in the dressing room, and then she offered me the actual vase. And I was like, oh no, I can't take that.
The kinkiness is like what I expected.
And she was like telling me about her orchids at home and how she cares for them, and it was really nice. She was very, very nice. But yeah,
Erykah Badu, I've got to ask you a second. Sorry, Queen.
What was it like?
Yeah.
Opening for Erykah Badu?
Uh-huh.
Opening for Erykah Badu was so wild because she was literally like my idol at the time.
Yeah.
And I like.
Her vibe is so radical.
It's just amazing.
It's so radical.
Yes, so radical. It was interesting because I like do this thing because I met her, but I do this thing when I'm really like in awe of someone that I like almost like lock up.
Yeah.
And get super awkward.
Yeah.
And I have regrets. I have regrets with Erykah Badu that I wasn't like enough of I didn't express to her like how much she meant to me and like how grateful I was for the opportunity to just like be in her presence because I literally just kind of did that like
shut down.
No,
yeah.
I got to see you got that question asked, and I see you going to like NAM facts and like trying to figure out how to phrase this, and I'm like, oh, something happened. Like, how good is it? Because Erykah Badu, like her whole vibe is like so like that mystical witch thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I bet you she is quite accustomed to the deer in the headlights experience. Like that must be like the default.
She must be. Yeah.
She must be.
Did you end up having a conversation with her? Or?
Yeah, I met her, yeah.
I feel like I've heard like a lot more positive stories recently to balance out all the like, oh yo, no, I met this person, they were nasty, like
the never meet your heroes adage, like
I feel like it's cool, like I feel like I like hearing about people who've had that experience and it's been a positive one.
Yeah, well, it's interesting with that whole thing because like you get so much kind of conflicting like information, that's like when you meet someone who's famous or that you admire, you should kind of like let them be a person and not kind of accost them like that. But then it's also like, well, actually, sometimes it's nice to express like your appreciation, and you have to be a human, like you have to be a natural human, like. So it's like I've always been really confused on that point. I'm like, I don't know how to. I still am not figuring it out. Like I'm still figuring it out, really.
I think worst case scenario, you could have stuck your foot in your mouth. If you didn't do that, you were all right.
Yeah.
Let's transition into BPM at OL because I feel like you can see some dancey vibes up in here. 96.1 FM, and we are back in studio with Estere.
Hello.
I had a question, so I didn't realise so a mate of mine found I Spy, like in my last year uni, and he was like, that was like Samurai Champloo kind of like soundtrack kind of vibes. And then it's really interesting because then he was talking about the world of wearable arts, and you were involved with that, weren't you? You were you performing through it, or?
Yeah.
So tell us a bit about that, because that sounds like a real cool.
Sure. So they changed the format this year. For the first time, they had like a headline artist be a performer throughout the show and kind of weave together the narrative.
Mm-hmm.
So it ended up being that they used my music and had me appear, and they have 6 different sections, and they had me appear in all those sections, bar one, as a singer, as a performer, as myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I saw you because I was at WOW.
Oh, you came?
Yeah, I was in the VIP section.
Ooh.
So I had a really good view, and now that just clicked. I was like, yes, I saw you.
Yeah.
That was so amazing.
Thank you. How did that come about? The
Where's
feedback.
that coming from? Sorry, it's in my headphone.
No, it's in mine too. I heard that. Well, how did that come about? Like, did they invite you? Did you?
Yes. Yeah. So they came up with the idea, and then they asked me to fill that role. So.
Okay. Well, that's exciting.
Yeah, it was amazing. Like the production was kind of like being in a Vegas show almost.
Wow.
Yeah, it was like, aerialist.
You got to dress up in costumes.
Yeah. You got to do the catwalk.
Yeah. They had me in about 7 or 8 different costumes, and they had me kind of flying into the ceiling at one point.
Oh wow!
I remember that.
I was like I had to learn choreography and all this stuff. It was wild. It was a lot of work. It was 18 shows in a row.
Wow.
Yeah, because the rehearsals, I had my friends, because my friends, that's why I got into Ep1, like they modelled, and so the rehearsals were like every single, like 3 times a week, 4 times a week.
Yeah.
Really intense. Were you there for all of them as well?
I didn't have to be there for all of the rehearsals, but I was rehearsing intensely up until the show. And then there was 18 shows.
Wow.
Over 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you were knackered as fuck, right?
I'd be so tired afterwards, but I was actually, because I'd like been forced to get more fit and stuff,
right.
like I had much more endurance than as I started off.
Yeah, good energy in, good energy out kind of thing.
Yeah.
And they had like good sort of choreographers and just like people to help the stage manage.
Yeah.
Like, so it wasn't just Estere having to like bring maximum game. It was like actually being supported.
No,
properly.
the team was amazing. Everyone involved is like awesome, and they've been doing it for many years as well. So, yeah. It was awesome.
So what kind of songs, was it songs from like your catalogue, or was it stuff that was kind of designed for for WOW?
So in my section, it was all from my catalogue, like a mixture of my album, My Design on Others' Lives, and then there was stuff from Archetypes as well. Yeah.
I love that album.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. I'm not going to lie. Like, you're actually, I think we spoke about this last time, you were actually at Wellington High with my oldest son.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he remembers you and he's thinking, oh yeah, she was really kind of geeky. And
I know.
And now look at it. Like,
I know.
So funny.
Yeah.
I'm having the same experience. I'm like, well, geeky is not the right word for it. Like, you just had like
that was his word, darling.
That's true. I mean, like,
I love that.
Like, it was like the Clarissa Explains It All Girl Next Door vibe that you had, like, going for you. Like, and sort of seeing you mature into, like, an adult woman is such a, like, blow. Like, I'm just like, wow. Holy cow. I know you've been jet setting and all of that, and it is amazing to watch you go.
It's really good that TJ sent you some beats.
He sent me he didn't send me beats, he sent me, like, samples.
Okay,
like,
so like
drum the sound of a snare or the sound of a kick.
Yeah, that's his thing, the drums.
Yeah.
I do have a couple of questions. So, what's your Christmas plans?
I'm going up to Waiheke Island to be with my family.
Oh, yay!
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, your mum has a hut there, like a house. Like...
My uncle and auntie have a house there, and my grandpa also lives there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Consider that Christmas dinner.
Yeah, I actually ordered a tofurkey.
Nice.
A what?
A vegan turkey.
Yeah,
it's called
tofurkey. Turkey.
Yeah, I got you.
So because you get those tofuckins where it's like a turducken but with tofu.
It's a what?
Tofuckin. Like it's actually a thing. Like you can look it up. There's skits on it. It's really funny.
That's what's that like a chicken stuffed inside a duck, stuffed inside a turkey.
Yeah, a turducken is a chicken stuffed inside a duck stuffed inside a turkey. Tofuckin is like tempeh stuffed inside tofu stuffed inside like just something else entirely.
Okay, what I want to do, Eddie, because I'm looking at the time, I want to change tack and let's do a roundup of 2022.
Oh, yes.
We might as well go with everyone. So, Estere, what's your favourite things that happened in 2022? Movies, music, what's the other
What's your top three? Top three movies, top three books.
I'm so bad on my feet
and
like
this.
No, it's not just you.
Movies.
So movies, books, and like influences, like personalities, like people to follow or like check out.
I told these two make notes.
We did this last year, so I was actually kind of braced for it thinking about it this year.
I need a second because I will take.
That's all right. If you put it on the spot, I'm always happy to put myself up and go first. Like, we all good?
Yeah.
Okay. This year I started watching last night I watched Pinocchio by Guillermo del Toro. Holy cow! Blew me out the water. Like, you instead of thinking, I'm dead inside, I feel nothing. And then Guillermo del Toro was like, let me slip you some, like, weird fish things. And I'm like, oh, wow, okay. Turns out I'm a weirdo. That's good. Let's see. So 10 out of 10, I would recommend that to anything. It's not black-centric, but it is so good. Let's see. Books that I'm reading right now is The Myth of Normal by Gabor Mate. It is how do I want to say it? It's like about trauma and addiction and like processing like the way, it's like a sort of the body keeps the score at 2.0 is how I would describe it. Really good. I'm not that far in it, but when like a book is really good and you have to close it and like just stare at the ceiling and listen to Bjork and just like kind of go like, oh my god, right? Like I would recommend that with all my heart. And anything by Gabor Mate. Influencers, I got to meet Cutie Pie Sensei.
Yes, we met her at Armageddon, so that Cutie Pie Sensei was one of our influences.
That was her in the posters?
It was.
Yeah, it was her on the posters.
Okay.
It was like, she was on our list of black influencers to follow last year.
Yeah,
and we just
I totally like to believe that I manifest her in 2022.
Awesome.
We did say that we're like, hey, we did like a radio show, and we were like, you're like on our list of people that like to check out. So someone probably followed that list.
Yeah.
Like, someone was listening and they were like, hey, we need to book her.
Like that must have spread like the way it does. There's one person and I cannot immediately I'm upset because I cannot immediately think of her name, nor do I think I could find it in time, but there was a black fantasy fiction adventure romance novelist, and I will give that information to you to put down, but like I started reading, she did a TikTok format, which is just like, she would like watch like a Vimeo or a TikTok of like some really hot black guy doing like dark shit, like, and then she would just like, you just clip to her deadpan being like, Horatio grasped her deeply, passionately, because like she's just got this blank face as she's typing. His ebony skin caressed her, and then I'm just every time I would watch her do that, like just like the gag format of like beautiful TikTok black guy, immediately riding riding on a horse. That's my influencer, etc. So
amazing. For me, I'm also not the best cook on my feet, but I was thinking, and my favourite film I think that I've seen this year is Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Oh,
yes.
I watched it.
Amazing.
I watched it 2 days back to back at Blackhouse because that's how obsessed I get. It's so good, like amazing.
Yeah.
And an author, I forgot the author's name, but a book that I'm reading that's black centric is In Every Mirror She's Black.
Oh wow!
I don't know if you've read that book, but it follows the life of 3 different black women in 3 different parts of the world. So in the UK, a refugee, an immigrant, and someone who's back in Africa, and their lives link in and everything. It's a really beautiful, meaningful book. And music, God, I've just, ever since I've started working here, I've been just exposed to so much more good Afro, like, and just Kiwi-centric as well music, so anything on the Blackhouse playlist,
Awesome.
That's it for me.
I watched a movie, actually it was a documentary a couple of nights ago about Sidney Poitier.
Oh,
And that was incredible. I highly recommend it to everyone. Like, his journey and his story, amazing. Very inspiring. Music, there's so much music that I've loved and enjoyed this year, but what comes to mind is Lucinda Yakuza. Don't know if you know her, but she's like a Congolese Belgian artist, and she's amazing. Lous and the Yakuza.
I prepped my list. I prepped like honorable mentions and everything. So my kind of, so from movies, TV shows, I think my top two probably Ms. Marvel. Like, it's the first thing that, it's like, I don't know, it's the first Marvel thing in a while that's made me really be like, this is it catches the theme and catches like the vibe that it needs to. And Gennady Tartakovsky's Primal, which is like this kind of like sword and sorcery, like revenge story. It's like a caveman sees his like family murdered by a dinosaur, and then teams up with another dinosaur who has her family murdered, and it's them like it's like a real like brutal action. It's on TV and then on demand as well, so it's like so it's accessible.
Yeah.
Books, I've read the big three for me have been The Ballad of Black Tom by Victor Lefebvre, which is a Lovecraftian story, but essentially it takes H.P. Lovecraft's like one of his like most notoriously racist stories, and does it from the experience of the people of colour in that story. The Memory Librarian by Janelle Monáe, which is like a collection of short stories. I have a signed copy of it. I found it in the UK.
Did she write it?
Yeah, it's like her and a couple of other so it's kind of all co-wrote kind of stories. It's really cool, and it's set in the Dirty Computer universe, so it's kind of building on that.
Wow.
And Adulthood Rights by Octavia Butler, and it's like throwback, like kind of sci-fi, like and it's just a cool kind of thing, and I'm like, I feel like I've been digging into a lot more sci-fi recently. And then influences, or like YouTubers and that sort of thing, I had Foreign Man in a Foreign Land.
Oh, yes.
And he's like, he's from the Bahamas, he's this beautiful man from the Bahamas who unpacks a lot of like topics around like the Caribbean and like colonial attitudes in the Caribbean, like toxic masculinity and how in the Caribbean.
Write them down.
Yeah.
What's it called? Foreign Man.
Foreign Man in a Foreign Land.
FD Signifier.
FD Signifier is my other one.
Oh my god.
FD Signifier is like, there's like almost like he's like the counter to the Black Manosphere. He's like the guy who sits there and again unpacks it in a way that's really good, but also like calls it out.
Yeah.
And then my third one is Mini Minuteman, and I'm anthropology, archaeology kind of background. I don't know who's calling. Hello.
We're on here.
Mini Minuteman, and he's an anthropology and archaeology YouTuber, and he was on TikTok, but he left TikTok. But it's really good because he does these kind of real good breakdowns at addressing like conspiracy theories in archaeology, which has gotten like really big because of TikTok and stuff like that.
Have you seen CJ the X? May I recommend CJ?
CJ the X. Okay, that's
CJ the X. He does like really hyperactive guy who does massive breakdowns of art and film, and they're great.
I was gonna say, Leah, top three.
My top three. Okay, you guys are going to be really disappointed because you all sound so intellectual and whatnot. My top movies is Woman King, and because I just like a good scrap and I like a good girl's scrap, so I was into that. And complete opposite, Black Adam. I actually liked Black Adam, okay? I don't know, it just took me back to those early days of superhero.
We'll have a chat about Black Adam after the show.
I liked it. I liked the cinematography of it. I liked when he flew down off the mountain and he's still standing straight and everything's getting thrown around. Books, I'm going to leave books because I never get time to do books. So probably I'd say my best, I'm going to actually say something about my favourite things to look forward to. I really want to see Avatar, and I really want to see the new Constantine movie. So, and the next Chronicle of Riddick, if it's ever going to come out. That's what I'm looking for.
Chronicles of Riddick, yo, that's a big...
About that movie.
Is Vin Diesel in it again?
I don't know, but I heard it's coming. And I think when it comes to, I'm skipping the books, but I think I'm going to say a couple of fave times on the Blackhouse. Besides this one, of course, Estere, because you're right here. I really loved the interview we did with Tika Pari because it was so much fun and laughing. And anytime Octavius comes in through the house and speaks on anything, I just feel naturally fed. He just fills me up, and I can't wait to have him on the show more next year. And favourite onlines, well, we only did 2, and they're both my favourite. Masbo Q and Keen Roadie. Yeah.
And you did another film festival one?
We did do a film festival one, but yeah. That was the year. Yeah. No, I like Keen Roadie, and I'm just gonna leave it there. Masbo Q and Keen Roadie. And probably the TV show that got my, I don't know, just grabbed me by the brain, and everybody was on it. I was late to the party, and this is The Handmaid's Tale.
Oh, really?
Oh, true.
I was so late to that party. Like, I came in season 5.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the hell is this? I can't put this thing down. I literally binge watched it for about a week.
I've been meaning to, so if you have a recommendation for it, I will actually get on that.
Yeah, I recommend, I definitely, and what was scary is the further you go along in that show, the more you're starting to see like the early kind of fermentations of this kind of thing happening in the real world.
Right now.
Yeah. And that's what's like, that's what keeps you like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Uh-oh.
What are we going to do?
Yeah.
How are we going to stop this? Yeah. It's going to, I'm going down the rabbit hole. But,
okay, so what we'll do is we'll do 3 different posts. We'll do one for like the TV shows, one for the books, one for influencers and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
We've got like 30 seconds, so Estere, thank you so much for coming in and like
for having me.
spending like
to talk to you all.
Managed to keep you on, and thank you for your list as well.
It was.
This has been the Blackhouse on 106.1 FM. It's been Eddie and Summer and Nani and Leah and Estere, and we hope everyone has like a fantastic like holiday and like, a nice break. And we'll see you guys all in like the new year.
Happy New Year.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Peace. We'll catch you all next year.
And for closing off, we'll do Mariah Carey's.
Absolutely not. Not Mariah Carey. You've ruined my year.